Well, a little bit about me, a little bit about the entity that I represent. My name's Wes. I'm currently the head BD for Huobi under the innovative branch here in the US. And as Pat mentioned, we are moving into the US. For most of you guys sitting here today, how many of you guys know Huobi? Raise your hand. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, so basically what Huobi used to be is a centralized exchange, very much like Binance, FTX, or Coinbase. But we also have like our layer one infrastructure. We have our venture side of things as well. Very much like Binance having their Binance Smart Chain, right? It is POS, meaning proof of stake. Like what we do for the past few years was that for the most part we focus primarily on secondary exchange, meaning retail facing. But as time progresses, regulatory issues and whatnot, it really changes the paradigm. So we're here, we're out here also, looking for more developers, more content creators like Pat, very much so like every single one of you guys sitting here today. So yeah, if you guys want to mingle with me afterward, I'll be outside. Yeah, all right. Good question, Pat. So for us, we welcome any type of the projects. We believe strongly in Web 3.0 economy, right? Although like we are like a layer one infrastructure, that does not mean like we don't invest in any Web3 infras. We like NFT projects. We like GameFi projects. We like DeFi projects that are innovative. Recently I was I came about this really interesting DeFi project that is basically in blue waters. I can share a little bit later with you guys. But yeah, like once we get to that, and with regards to the funds, we are giving out grants as well. So if you are a builder, right? You're building on projects right now, and you're saying, hey, I want some money. You can just hit up hecochain.com and then just apply the grants and or talk with me outside after this.
That's awesome. So the first thing I kind of wanted to go through today is I think public goods is something that's been in everybody's minds. We've seen so many awesome projects from NFTPs that have come.
Yeah, absolutely. I think right now you're absolutely right. I think the NFT marketplace is a little bit barbaric to say the least. You see, like really, we were talking about yesterday how, like skin colors can really varies on NFT projects. But overall, I think NFT at the moment, the landscape is very good, and I do think NFT moving in the future. No matter if it's finances, IP iteration or public good, there's a lot of use cases on it. And actually, Pat, I want your insight as well on this thing. So, what do you think NFT can impact in public good industry?
Projects that are for public goods that it's really just a contribution to a community to help just really help the world and whoever needs it. And I also go into NFTs for things that I like. My background is in esports and gaming, and so GameFi is a really big thing for me, and I like to support a lot of these new indie game companies who are using NFTs to really support like the launchpad for their indie studios. The games on the market right now they're okay, they're mediocre. They can't really compete 100% with our AAA titles in the industry yet. But I think that I've seen so many things on like BSC, on Ethereum, on Polygon. I'm really excited for 2022 to kind of see the impact that these NFT projects are going to have as they release like full-fledged titles.
Absolutely. I feel like GameFi projects nowadays, we see like Axis Infinity being very innovative, and of course, a lot of folks from traditional gaming industry trying to jump in. And I think moving forward, maybe 5 years down the road, we'll see this like much more fruitful result from a lot of the developers and the builders here. Building like AAA sort of like gaming economy, NFT marketplaces, and also furnish games with blockchain integrated into it. I'm super excited. Yeah.
I want to lead that up with, I think a lot of people have asked this question is, are whitelists still like the future of NFTs, right? I'm currently building my own startup. I also try to do a couple different side projects, and I find it extremely difficult to also be able to kind of chat all day inside of 10 different Discord groups on the hope of getting access to a mint. Do you see this like kind of being the status quo for 2022, or are you seeing a couple innovations that people are allowing other people outside of just spending like hundreds of hours of time to get into projects and kind of be a part of the community? Like, is there anything new happening?
Well, honestly, you're absolutely right. I think whitelist is like, it's not blockchain enough. It's like, it's really creating this like centric, sort of like community where like a exclusive amount of people can access. But for me, I think like in 2022, I don't think the landscape would change too much. Like people would still have like, project would still have like whitelists just because it's more organized. But until like we have maybe some sort of protocol, that's actually a good idea, right? Of, organizing and orchestrating around NFT whitelisting, or like, properly distributing NFT whitelistings. I think until then, we and I'm really looking forward for like projects that can come out and build on stuff like that. So more organized, structured NFT projects.
And I'm going to lead that into access. So for me, like I've been working for about 10 years. I got into crypto pretty early, and so it's weird in 2021 that I went from going from Web 2 purchases using my credit card and having like a barely small fee to now it being normalized that I spend almost $60 a transaction on Ethereum. And the reality is that when you look at countries outside of like the major countries around the world, $60 is someone's full day paycheck. It could be for some countries a full week's paycheck, right? And so that really it makes it very difficult to kind of break into smaller countries, countries that are in developing nations. What do you see as like what we need to do to onboard those users? Like, are there better options that we can do to kind of push for community in those regions?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are many projects that are in developing nations that are trying to build a more affordable, cheaper layer one infrastructure that provide access to a lot of third world developing nations. Polygon being one of them. I think Binance Smart Chain is cheaper than Ethereum, Avalanche, right? So all the layer one protocols are they're basically providing grants for a lot of folks to build on top, and also grants access to third world developing nations. And also, I recently came across a few projects that actually incentivize economics really helps incentivize folks joining in. That's why we see like blockchain community is only getting larger and larger. I believe Pat and I, we both joined the space quite fairly early, right? Like we see the space grow and flourish, and honestly, I'm just super excited. Yeah.
Yeah, and lastly, I guess this is a big one for me. So I've noticed a lot of my friends trying to enter Web3, and most of them aren't even developers. I think with every single person I've talked to, it's been very difficult for them to get around just like, how do I enter this space? If you're a developer, like you have the skills to kind of understand the background. You can use platforms like Rabbit Hole, platforms like BuildSpace or Third Web, and you're able to kind of test these projects and build them yourselves. But what about like the high school kids who are interested in doing their first project, or maybe they're interested in making a DAO? Like, what are your thoughts on kind of the education side of entering Web3, and like what are some of the improvements that we can make to make it easier for the general public to enter this space?
Yeah, I think a lot of the folks in the space right now have a lot, which is really good. I think you guys have access to basically Gitcoin. You guys have access to like a lot of free hackathon events and whatnot. And many of us like big organizations and institutions, unlike Web 2.0, like we suck you dry, like they suck you dry, right? Like we provide grants and like educational resources. We have like like a lot of the projects are open source. You can learn like nowadays. I think there are just I actually wouldn't say there's not enough resources. I would say there's too much resources. You just have to get out there and like just look for it, right? But I do believe that in going back to your previous question, right? Like maybe third world developing nation, a lot of developers they're lacking the resources, unlike us having the luxury of doing like all this cool events all over the world. But yeah, I mean, overall, like the resources are available, and like I would be more than happy to provide access to some of the resources if you guys want to come up to me. Yeah.
So I guess the answer for me is really we're missing a little bit of curation. We have all the resources available, but it's just so much information overload that it's hard to do. I'm not going to lie, that's what happened to me, and I'm very thankful for the Ethereum Denver community for actually hand-holding me through that process. And I also just want to shout out one project. So there's a team from Sri Lanka here at Ethereum Denver this year. So it's a 19-year-old and a 24-year-old, and they're starting a company called Matana, and they're trying to provide education for their own region. So blockchain is something that's looked down upon inside of their current country. It's their first time in the US, and their goal really is to be able to provide education of how to start programming in Solidity and all these other languages for free so that users can actually get into this space and kind of uplift their lives through remote education.
That's awesome. Matter of fact, I think the co-founder was literally sitting outside and he was like, yo, I can't access Huobi. Like I feel so sorry about folks that doesn't get access as much as we like to get access. We want them to access a certain amount of resources, and I think by providing resources to those projects are what we as in big institutions should strive for.
Yeah,